Sultan Qaboos University, the activities of International Conference on Bioethics, Ethical and Legal Issues of Emerging Biomedical Science and Research, participated by regional and international experts, together with their Omani colleagues, concluded its three-day activities with a call for more responsive and flexible legislations and regulations.
The second International Bioethics Committee was a hub in which professionals from different fields who are interested in bioethics and dealing with ethical issues in Oman and from outside Oman had the chance to share their worries, the current practices in many of the new scientific issues arising in the world and that have direct interaction and impact in the health and in the individual in general, such as the artificial intelligence, reproductive technologies, and many other topics that were discussed. And the recommendations were mainly directed toward coming up with legislations and policies, procedures that will enable such new advances in the science to be utilized and used in the community, but in the same time making sure that there is no negative consequences on it, and we are respecting the dignity and the humanity of the people.
The conference, organized by the National Bioethics Committee in cooperation with Sultan Qaboos University and UNESCO, have addressed contemporary and emerging challenges related to legislations that govern and relate to existing and emerging bioethical issues.
This conference on biological or medical ethics held in Muscat is the second one. The first one was held about 5 years ago, and both of them have implications on the practice of medicine and the practice of everyday problems that can happen in the medical field and in the biological field and the research field. It involves so many wide spectrum of subjects, from euthanasia, brain death, organ transplantation, genetics, so many more subjects.
This is an excellent and successful conference, and my contribution was a lecture entitled Differences between Western Secular Bioethics and Islamic Bioethics and its implications on legalization of bioethical issues, and I presented the example of euthanasia. And I concluded that euthanasia is not possible to be legalized in Muslim country because the patient's autonomy in Islamic perspective is limited by God's autonomy, and the patient cannot contradict God's will and God's rules in this world. The second thing is that the definition of quality of life from Western secular bioethics is different from the quality of life from Islamic perspective. As we know, Muslim in this world, every minute is very valuable for him or her to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's one day more in his life is very valuable.
The topics covered the interlinked relationship between bioethics and legislations, advances in medicine and biology, issues at the beginning and end of life, and issues related to medical practice.
I'm very happy to have the honor to be here as a speaker in this very prestigious conference, the second conference on bioethics. And I think that the Oman National Ethics Committee and the organizers of this meeting have doing a very great job to have a very constructive role in the region, to gather specialists from different countries, including Iran and others, to discuss about very important issue of bioethics and medical ethics. I think that in future this kind of activities will help to have a better environment in their region, especially among the academicians, among the university professors, scholars, and thinkers, which their aim is to have a better environment and better future for all people living in this very important region of the world.
The National Bioethics Committee is working towards formulating a clear path to deal with ethically contentious medical issues in the spirit of the tolerance of Sharia and the developments of modern science. Abdallah bin Ahmed al-Rubaiey, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.